Well, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Bearded Browns podcast. I'm Mike Wilkes. That's Angel Ortiz. You guys know him.
Hello, hello, hello.
Again, there was technical difficulties. For some reason, there was no sound for our intro,
Always.
but we're here.
There was no sound for the intro. I was wondering, I'm like, I'm here yet.
I,
But hey,
I could replay it. I could just restart the whole thing because I think I fixed it. But
it's all good. Hey, man, let's not ruin a good thing. We're started at least.
just
Could
like
be
the Browns are
worse.
started, man,
Just getting started.
never fails. But we are recording. Hopefully, we're sounding good. Hopefully, there's no other difficulties throughout this podcast tonight. We have a lot to talk about, including Angel's awesome hat that I'm going to steal from him Saturday.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You better wear that hat.
This is my favorite hat.
I like that hat. But yeah, free agency is the big talk. What is up, James? Around everywhere. Not only the Cleveland Browns, the entire league.
NFL. It's on fire right now with all this free agency. It's crazy.
A big thing, I guess, is right now is people that are like in the NFC East, staying in the NFC East, but going to a different team where
Different
it's
team.
a rivalry thing. And I want to honestly say Saquon Barkley is the biggest one because
You
the
don't think
Cowboy fans are
yeah,
so mad.
that's true. Oh yeah, I could see that.
I love it.
Yeah, Queen, he went from Baltimore to Pittsburgh. I mean, that hurts a lot. Their defense is good. Now they're even better. JJ
Win
Watt's
some.
trying to get, you think could get defense MVP now that he has a little more help.
It's good times. But we got a lot to talk about today. Angel's hat that I'm going to steal Saturday. We're going to bring that up again. The free agency with the Browns and around the league. And we have a special guest today as well.
Very special.
A West Coast Browns fan that is going to be fun to talk to. Very knowledgeable about the Browns as well. And then Angel's hat that I'm going to steal again. I can't find that hat anywhere, dude. I want it.
I actually don't remember. I think it might have been a gift because I normally would have. I know I went through a season where I wouldn't buy Browns things. I was so angry at them, and someone got me this hat, and I said, "I'm never wearing this hat. Browns are horrible." But then I'm like, "Oh, they're getting good. Let me wear this hat."
Fake fan? No, I'm kidding.
No, just like I'm burning it.
So we are all going to meet up. You and I and our wives are meeting up for dinner on Saturday.
Yes.
Look forward to that. And again, bring that hat.
My wife was like, "Well, what are we going to talk about?" I'm like, "The Browns, obviously. Like, you better start catching up on some 1960, some old school Brown stuff." She's like, "Oh, great, this is going to be fun. You'll learn."
Psychoanalyze my wife. She needs
it. Yeah. She'll tell me, "So, Mike, he said this," and then as a therapist, she'll break it down. I'm like, "Honey, he just thinks the coach is good. I mean, why are you breaking it down for?"
Oh man, that's a good time. Good time. But yeah, obviously some people that follow our page have seen a lot of the things that are actually going on right now with the free agency around the league. What is your biggest outlook on this whole thing with the Browns? Is it anything you're expecting or unexpected?
I really did not expect man, his name just slipped my mind. For them to Smith, right? Smith. The other end.
Zadarius Smith.
Yes, Zadarius Smith. I didn't think he would stay. I actually thought he would get, I guess, more money, but I actually was surprised that they signed him.
2 years.
Which is 2 years, which is I think is good for consistency's sake. I think it's encouraging to have good players wanting to return to a team that shows that, hey, we're good again, hopefully. I don't know. So he was kind of a surprise for me. And I guess Jerry Jeudy, I mean, because it happened when it happened. Like, you're at home, I'm playing with the kids, Uno, my daughter's destroying me. Then I get this text like, Jerry Jeudy. I'm like, what? We got a receiver? That was quick. Dude, I didn't think it was going to happen that quick.
I didn't think so either. Honestly, I was listening to 92.3 like it was another religion the last couple of days, and I'm just like, dude, this is horrible. This should not be my life. But here I am, just religiously listening to 92.3, waiting for. Oh, so I'm gonna play this really quick. So if anything does happen during the show, in case I don't get to play it, because I spent some time on this last night, but
Mhm.
we have this. Angel, you got your iPad up watching the
Yeah.
show? All right,
Mhm.
watch this. Oh, I'm not going to play the sound first. Hold on. Let me fix that. Yeah, that's it. Here, I'm going to play it again because we had no sound.
Breaking news. Well, that
just
is
in,
pretty cool.
just in case we
Just
get some breaking news. Apparently, I have
just
to
in case.
fix the entire podcast again.
Throw everything out and start over.
I have everything on monitor and output, and for some reason, it never accepts it. Like, it will not let it go. Just whatever. But we're here. We're
Technology.
streaming on everything, I believe. I'm not even going to bother checking that. But yeah, we have a guest that we're going to bring on here shortly. It's Chad Mediate. There's an E at the end, but he says there should be an I at the end to make it sound correct. And I called him the mediator yesterday because it's kind of spelled like mediate, you know. So I told him we're going to call him the mediator, and he actually said that was his nickname in high school. So
That's weird.
the
That you
mediator. I
knew
would love
that.
to have that middle name or
Yeah.
that nickname in high school. Come
Nickname.
on.
But you knew that.
Yes,
Hold
but I'm
it.
going to bring Chad in here. We're going to talk some Cleveland Browns. Hopefully this works. Everybody let us know if you could hear him correctly. Okay, here we go. Chad.
Hey, it's good to be on here now.
What is up,
Yes. The
Did
pause.
we get it on the first try?
Yes, the pause got me for a second because he was like, I was like, no.
7th. We just got to make sure you're not echoing. And other than that, we're going to be golden.
Oh, perfect.
But no, you're good.
All right.
Sure.
Chad runs. Go ahead. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Chad.
Okay. Well, I heard the mediator thing. That is really funny. That it was funny for him to guess that nickname because I haven't heard it in a bit, but completely welcomed and sounds immediately familiar. So I am a Browns fan, obviously, and I am the head of the Ocean Beach Browns backers out in San Diego, California. It's one of our two Browns backers groups. There's actually more out in Southern California than people would probably expect. And so I've been co-running that and now individually running that for a couple of years now. I used to host another Browns podcast a couple of years back, Coast to Coast, Cleveland. We talked a lot of Browns football with just some different perceptions of the Browns from the East Coast to the West Coast to obviously the North Coast up where you guys are. And otherwise, this is the first time getting to really dig in deep with anybody this season. So I'm really looking forward to getting back to spending some time talking Browns.
Oh, we can get deep on here.
What goes into running a backers club? I've always wondered that.
Not as much as you'd think. It's you have to register with the Browns Backers Worldwide webpage, and that's where everybody can find their local Browns Backers groups. There's several just in Ohio, and then all around the country. It's a pretty big network, and then essentially because we have multiple groups in Southern California, we all kind of work together a little bit. So the San Diego Browns backers, the Beach Browns backers, and then even sometimes we work in collaboration with just the Southern California Browns backers, which is in LA, Orange County groups as well. But essentially it's just organization of making sure you guys have a meeting place. For ours, it's the Tilted Stick Bar and Grill, which is a little dive bar in Ocean Beach, San Diego. Finding your location, making sure you set up the some form of page for it, whether it's Facebook or a website or running the social media along with that. We organize bus trips when there's games played nearby, like Los Angeles for the Rams or Chargers, or if we go out to Las Vegas for the Raiders, we kind of set up big party bus trips for that. So it's it's a little bit of organization, but it's mostly fun stuff. We run a raffle every week to collect for the Cleveland Browns Foundation. That's kind of a big thing for us. And then we also participate in local things like Dogs for Dogs, which is to help support the local shelters for pets and adoptions.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I've always wondered because I hear it all the time on like our local station. I listen to the AM 850, and the Browns channel is on there, and they talk about the Browns backers. I was like, I wonder what it takes to run that.
Yeah, it's probably not as much as I feel like it takes to run a podcast. So if that gives you any idea, but it is a lot. It's just organization stuff, but it's mostly fun. It's great to meet up with the Browns fans wherever you're at. And I've been a part of a handful of them because I've moved around a little, whether it was down at college or some of my clinical residencies, or whether it was just moving around. And I'm pretty settled here, but I've been to several. I've been to Seattle Browns backers, Denver Browns backers. I've been to the Orlando Browns backers. And it's cool to see how everybody kind of individually sets up their own group, but there's a lot of freedom with what you want to do. Some of them, the one in Chicago, man, if you guys are ever in Chicago during football season, their Browns backers bar is gigantic, and they've got to have hundreds of members. Which makes sense. I guess there's probably a ton of Cleveland transplant plants from a couple of generations there. But yeah, go into them. If you're ever out of town, there's a good chance if you're in any major city, there's a Browns backers bar in that town, and you got to check some of them out. It's a lot of fun.
That is awesome. And that's why another reason I think that we have, honestly, one of the biggest fan bases, and nobody really realizes it, but we do have fans all over the world. And I realize every team does, but I think that not just because I'm a Browns fan. You were born and raised here, correct, in Cleveland?
Mm-hmm.
So that comes with just being natural. But everybody else around the world, how do these people just randomly become Browns fans? It doesn't happen overnight. So how many do you have in your group or groups or bars out there by you that actually get together and tailgate pretty much?
I mean, our turnout at our location is a smaller location, but our turnout can be anywhere from like 20 to 40 people. And then I wouldn't be shocked if the larger location, more in the cities, in the center of the city, can have easily up to like 100 people on a good Sunday. Not every week, but there's definitely up and down weeks depending on when we play. And out here, of course, with the time change, I don't know what else are you going to be doing at 10 o'clock a.m. on a Sunday, other than drinking some beers and watching the Brownies.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
Angel, I could tell you want to ask him a question so bad.
No, I was gonna make a comment that maybe next time I'm in the States, because me and my wife like to travel on the Sunday during Brown season. I'm like, let's go to a Browns backer bar. She would love that. She's like, why? I'm like, just because we're on vacation, let's try something different. Because I never thought about that. You're right. Like, there's probably one in every state we go. And normally if we travel on a Saturday, Sunday is a chill day anyways. Like, why not go during a football season and trying to scout out the best one in that state?
Yeah, especially out west, because with the time change, like I said, it's pretty early in the morning. So it's not like it's really interrupting your day. You're done by 1 o'clock and ready to get on with whatever you were doing. But if you're in a major city, there's at least one. If you're in a big city, there's probably more than one.
So is there any hazing that goes on with that? Because I know it's not easy to be a Browns fan in a different state where their fans are also just almost nobody's as religious as the Cleveland Browns fans. But is that a thing where, like, if you're walking around in a Browns jersey, people will kind of
you get a reaction. I don't think you get a lot of hate out here. You get what's even worse than hate sometimes, and that's like just that little look of pity.
Right.
You turn around a corner, you got your Browns hat on, and somebody's like, "Oh, you're from Cleveland, like the Browns, right?" And
he keeps going
for a pretty long time. I moved out here a decade ago. For a pretty long time, that was the consistent reaction. It was like, "Oh, the It's tough. But it's been better. It's been better lately. Ever since the kind of the new era has been a little less pathetic.
Yes.
So,
At least they're competitive.
I'm looking for some hate. I can't wait until somebody's like, ugh, the Browns. I can't wait till someone looks at me in that gear like I look at someone in New England gear over the last.
Man.
And they call you a bandwagoner.
Like,
You're like, what a bandwagon. Like, no, literally, I was born into this.
Yeah. Me and Angel actually had this conversation a couple weeks ago about, do you know how the Patriots fans were a big thing like 10 years ago when obviously Tom Brady was there? And after Tom Brady left, it was dramatic change. Like, where did all the Patriots fans go?
They're Patrick Mahomes, so they're Kansas City.
So now they went to Kansas City.
A lot of people went to Tampa for a year or two. It's just easy to turn that off, I guess. Like, I'm a Tampa fan this year. I wish that would have been easy, right? In 2005, like I'm a fan of something else right now. But it's impossible. Once it's in there, it's in there.
I can't wait till fans do get annoyed at us. Like, 4 championships in a row. Like, come on, we tired seeing the Browns in the Super Bowl. It's like, well, sorry, we're winners, man. We're winners now.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
I'll probably be dead before that happens.
Glorious.
I'll be dead.
My daughters would be like, why are the Browns even winning? They won't even appreciate it.
Yeah. So we're gonna come back. If you've got any other questions for Chad, Angel?
Oh no, I'm good. Is he just one, or is he staying, or?
Yeah, he's gonna stay. We're gonna take a quick break.
I was saying, man, that was short, man.
We got a couple. No, absolutely not. We got a couple more minutes, and then we got to talk to you about these players. So.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I was hoping. Okay.
Did you have anything for stats with an Angel today?
I have Jerry Jeudy stuff that I like to talk about.
Cool, that'll work. And then we could bring up some other stuff about how pissed off Cleveland is right now over another situation.
Think about how far we've come. That we're complaining about not our starting. Well, some people start complaining about the starting quarterback, but we're complaining about our backup quarterback. Think about it. Let that settle in, Browns fans. You're complaining about a backup quarterback.
It's Cleveland. We got 2 minutes to talk about this before we take a break. But Chad, what is your output or your thought?
So on our backup quarterback, is that where we're going? Yeah, 2 minutes is enough. I mean, this is not going to garner a lot of love from the Browns fans because I'm not sure there's a more popular person in Cleveland over the last couple of months. But Jameis Winston plays an awful similar style to what we got out of Flacco. And that's,
thank you.
I can throw for a couple hundred yards a game. I can bomb for a few touchdowns. But, don't get excited because I'm going to throw a ridiculous pick six at some point this game. And I've never been a giant fan of Jameis Winston. But if I'm being realistic about it, that's a pretty similar player that we're getting. With that being said, I would have been as excited as anybody to have Joe Flacco back just because that was fun. I guess I'm partially relieved that I don't have to follow the put in Joe Flacco tweets every time there's an interception or a bad day. I don't think people will feel that same way about Jameis. I don't think people are going to be like, get Jameis in there. Let's go. But I think there's a pretty big chunk of the fan base who, if Joe Flacco was on the team, they're going to want him in the starting spot. And I just don't think that's realistic. So I guess that's a relief.
My quickie here is it's going to be 2 words: relentless chaos. That's all I'm going to say for now. Angel.
Oh yeah, I agree, man. I texted you that. I said, because I saw people complaining on my Facebook. Oh, I can't believe it. I'm like, they're the same player. They are. Like if you look at the statistics, like of course, Flacco has thrown more games because he's started more games. He's been in the league longer. But when you break it down from percentage points as far as throws, I think maybe 1 percentage point Jameis is worse as far as throwing picks. I mean, they're the same player. You brought up a good point earlier, Mike, that he's just younger. And they know that, and he's more mobile. That's what they want. They want another backup quarterback where they're able to still have the same system flow as opposed to switching things around with Flacco. Now, I'm grateful for Flacco. What he did was amazing. I didn't think he would, after all that quarterback drama, he settled us down last year. But I don't think this. If you can rely on your backup quarterback to win the Super Bowl, you're screwed anyways.
Yes. So with that being said, we're going to take a quick break. Ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. We got Chad here.
This is
We got
gonna be
Angel
fun.
here. We got a lot to talk about still. We got you introduced to Chad, the Ocean Beach Backers, Browns Backers Club from California. I'm sorry, I botched that, Chad. I'm sorry. I won't let that happen again until next time. But
It's a mouthful.
But yeah, we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. What is up, everybody? Mike Wilkes here from the Bearded Browns podcast, letting you know that we're going to be working with Mistakes on the Lake Clothing. They have everything you need. Why not check them out? If you want to go to their store, it's 4542 Liberty Avenue in beautiful Vermilion, Ohio. If you want to contact them, their phone number is 440-670-3145. They have everything from Cleveland to Columbus gear. They have Lake Erie gear. Why not check it out? It's all great stuff you can get for your wife, your kids, your newborn. They even have onesies, shirts that say good moms and dads don't raise Michigan fans, just Ohio stuff, and it's awesome. So be sure to check them out. They have everything you need. Even the candles, custom coasters, can koozies, wine tumblers, phone grips, everything, stickers. It is awesome. Check them out. Do not be the mistake on a lake and regret this decision. Go and check them out. And that was the wrong one. There we go.
I was talking about San Diego because I'm going to go visit. And I was asking about the popular food spots.
I'm so used to just clicking on you and I as soon as I came back, boom, I clicked on us without Chad. That was a legendary podcast mistake. Chad, you still there?
Yeah, he was just telling me about the food scene as far as tacos is in San Diego. So we gotta finish that later.
If you end up out this way, you send me a quick message. I won't steer you wrong.
Nice.
Neither of you guys took a bathroom break. You guys are done for 20 minutes at least.
No, I had to let my dog out real quick, and now I'm good. Somebody did ask. James said, "I found a backers club near me. Do I just show up, or do I have to sign up to be a member?" Just show up.
Show up. If they do a sign up, which some of them do, they'll just have you sign in with your email when you get there, or do it through the Facebook page. Some of them have dues because they do, certain specials, or you pay dues and you get merch. We sell merch, and we have a bunch of different types of merch and things in the raffles, so we don't have any kind of dues or anything like that. Most of them just show up. Everybody's happy to see you when you're from out of town, especially.
Sorry, I'm refreshing the page
Are you
here
good?
for the Browns free agency thing to see if anything else has happened.
James Frank
Could be
says
something new.
if Watson can stay healthy, I like the signing. If Watson has a bad game, we won't hear the chance of basically bringing the back up because they're gonna probably say stay.
Right.
They'll probably ask him for Dobbs at some point next year.
That's my biggest concern, honestly, is when Deshaun Watson, because we all know, not obviously now Joe Flacco is not going to come back. We're going to start talking about quarterback first. I want to bring this up first. We came out with it. We're going to bring it right back in. No matter the circumstances, we are a team and we love our players no matter what. It's the inevitable. That's what we have to do. We have to deal with whatever Andrew Berry is giving us, and Berry we trust. At the end of the day, I really do not want people to start chanting Flacco when either quarterback has a situation where there's an incomplete pass or interception or something stupid off the wall. I don't want to hear it. I really don't.
You probably will. You probably will. You'll be hearing we want Flacco, especially if he's throwing his second pick and you're down by 17 in the fourth quarter. It's Cleveland. Unfortunately, it's just who they are, especially in a dog pound when they're 8 beers in. You know, they're not thinking straight.
So, Chad, since you are the guest, we will give you first opposition here on as to what you think of Andrew Berry's moves as of now.
At this point, well, I'll first of all, I think they're sort of what I expected. They're not far off from what I kind of thought we were going to be getting into. It's a lot of re-signing a few of the key pieces from our defense last year. I like all the players we brought back. I'm sure we'll get into them a little more specifically. I'm not heartbroken so far by anybody who was on our own free agent board who ended up signing somewhere else. There's one or two guys that were a little bit of a surprise to me, but there hasn't been anybody that breaks my heart to lose yet. As far as overall strategy, it is kind of what I expected. You know, bring back the impact guys, especially on defense, that helped, get this team to a top 3 defense throughout the entire season. And the Jerry Jeudy move was not something I expected. Maybe it's something I should have. It's not technically a free agent move, but it sort of started off our free agency, right? It's not something I expected, but I guess we probably should have. They've inquired for 2 years on the guy, and with Russell Wilson leaving and them looking to revamp that program, I probably should have just had it in my head that was a good possibility. That is a move I really like. I'm not going to go over the top with how good that player is. I think he's pretty talented. And with the roster of receivers we have now, that's a pretty big boost to the receiving core at a pretty darn good price, both salary and trade assets. So I think pretty good. I don't know how much is left in the tank. I think it wouldn't be a shocker if there's just a couple little moves along the way, but also Andrew Berry is always grinding. So if something else, pops into our universe soon, I won't be shocked anymore. I mean, the most shocking move of probably my Browns fandom was Deshaun Watson. Love it or hate it, that was not even on my radar, and it happened, and others have since. So never shut the door on a shocker, but I think we've gotten a little bit of that Andrew Berry special of, I'm going to get value players. I'm going to build with 1 and 2 year deals. And so far I can't give that anything less than an A of some sort. How are you guys feeling about it?
Angel, go ahead.
I agree. I think we see. I think we were talking about this earlier. We see the pattern of Barry, where he does the 1 to 2 year deals. That's what he loves, especially as the older they get. And he's looking to get young talent at a discount rate. And I think that's that Judy move where he's like, you know what, you're going to sell low, buy low because his situation in Denver was not favorable to him. But we're gonna hopefully turn him into what Cooper is currently, and then maybe extend him, and then obviously Cooper will be done. But so yeah, I've been a fan of Barry from day one. People have been making fun of me up to this point. Now they're on my side. I think Barry's a genius. I think what he does with that money or limited money that he currently has is just magical. You know, you go in waiting for his staple is like, what big movie is going to make with 2 cents this year? And he just does something amazing, and he's just great. So I give him an A. I mean,
I agree. As far as the Jerry Judy thing goes, I think it is a solid pickup as a wide receiver number 2. Amari Cooper and him are going to be the guys downfield, opening up the field for Elijah Moore, and I think Elijah Moore is going to have a better year because of it. I watched Jerry Judy's highlights earlier, and the guy, he's had his ups and downs. Obviously, he's a first-round pick. Didn't meet his expectations in Denver, but I think the guy's going to have, like I think James Frank here said, it's a breakout year for him, coming into a whole new scheme, and possibly with Deshaun Watson throwing him rockets. Man, the guy could, if he, how do you explain this? If the guy can catch, he can catch. If he can't, he can't. It's kind of like David Njoku was 2 years ago when, Njoku was having those problems, and it was right after he signed his contract. Like, I'm like, man, come on, dude. But Andrew Berry, 100%, man. But you never know what's going on in the guy's head. But at the end of the year, it always seems to somehow make sense.
Mm-hmm.
There's guys we picked up that it's funny too, because we're not even going to be able to announce some of these last names, but give it a week or two, us Browns fans will be there.
Yeah, we'll remember it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was Barry's cooking first move in the free agency pool, and I liked it. I'm not upset about it at all. I think it's a good move, and I think it opens up a lot of potential for the receiving core.
I mean, the other moves he made too, like he signed Dunn to that 1 year deal. I think he's a good fill-in case. Obviously, there's always a injury on that line. It's a lot of questions about Jedrick Wilkes, but hopefully he can stay healthy and improve from where he was last year. And I know there's a lot of hate, but I think he was probably one of the better pass blockers on the run, which could be why you saw Ford's not be as consistent. But yeah, I think he did. I'm really, really, really pleased with what he did so far, and he probably has some more time to trick everybody and pull something amazing out.
So here's what we'll do. This is a good idea, I think. We're gonna go from somebody we lost, or somebody we gained, and then somebody we lost. I think the next person we should talk about is Anthony Walker, going to the Dolphins on a 1 year deal. That was a guy that I did not think was going to go. Love the guy. He showed up last year. He did big things. I was kind of upset about that one. If we could all agree on that, I'm sure. That was one guy on the 26 of the list of free agents that I wanted to keep. But you win some, you lose some, you move on.
I thought he was good when he was available, and I guess being not available was always his issue. I think he was a good leader for the defense when he was available. Problem is he really, really wasn't at times, and I think that's what hurt him ultimately. And I think the Browns end up picking somebody that was more consistent as far as playing. Will he play better? Maybe not. Maybe Walker maybe is a little better than him, but at least they have a body there as opposed to someone that is going to be out for 6-7 weeks.
Chad?
I would agree with that. I think when you look at Walker, you could make an argument that it's a little bit more talented of a player at this point in his career. Maybe I'm not sure if that holds through Hicks's last many years, but kind of looking at Walker at his best right now, going forward versus Hicks. But Walker leaving is hard to be too disappointed at because of how little we actually were able to get out of him on the field. I know a lot of people talk about the locker room stuff, and that's great, but where this team is, almost to be able to get to being a number one defense with him just unavailable makes that one a little bit easier to swallow.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think you lose an element that does need replaced. You got to hope the guys you bring in, whether it's a consistent return guy or whether it's a veteran from another place, that you get some of those elements of leadership and camaraderie back. But on the field, I mean, you're right. We just didn't get out of him what we really expected to when we brought him in.
I agree. I did forget to mention his injury issue, and that's obviously an issue that the Browns have had all year because 26% of our roster was out. So I mean, that is crucial, and we still made things happen that nobody in this world would have ever believed. So Angel, you know what my famous saying is, Cleveland, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But let's move on to Zadarius Smith, edge rusher, signed a 2-year deal for $23.5 million. I think it was a great idea to do that. He's got decent amount of pressures, a couple sacks. That's Angel and I have talked about this already with Miles getting double teamed and triple teamed. It is not you have to have somebody on the other side that's able to get in and get at least a pressure, if not a sack. I think it was a great idea, to be honest. It takes the focus somewhat off of Miles because Zadarius Smith can get in there, and he has gotten in there. When he does, it is brutal. I love that guy's after a sack celebration because that dude is just insane. I like the signing. 2 thumbs up for me.
Yeah. I guess once the top 2 came off the board, you would have to hopefully he kind of fell in your lap, and I think he saw the money was going down as he waited. So I think the Browns, and that's another thing about the front office that people probably don't realize, is the patience they have. They don't. I think they make good signings because they're not quick emotionally. And I know a lot of people are going to knock analytics, but I think analytics help with that. The numbers. Let's stick with the numbers. This is what we look at, and this is how we're going to stay true to who we are as far as talent that we look for. And I think he just fell to them, and he was just like, you know what, I'm here. Let me just sign this money and get paid.
Yeah, sometimes it just feels good to stay somewhere you're already comfortable and know you can succeed. So that has to sometimes go into the thinking. It's a pretty, I hate to overplay it because it's not like he's a prime time player at this point anymore, but he is a pretty critical player to this scheme working. I think I'm a big pressures guy. You already mentioned pressures. I think being able to get sacks is awesome. Getting consistent pressure causes turnovers. It causes incomplete passes. It causes panic plays that lead to botched third downs. It's a pretty big deal, and we know he can do that. And I just think that it's sort of one of those scenarios where when you're paying a Myles Garrett on one side of the line, most teams, unless they get really fortunate, don't get to bring in 2 guys of that level. So my big worry for the offseason was, if Zadarius does catch on somewhere else, like, how do you replace that level of productivity from a guy that can hold down that spot, along with roll inside sometimes on third downs and give you inside pressure while some of your younger or quicker speed rushers take the edge. And that's just not a position that's that available out there. So I say pretty critical signing from a guy that's a key part of this defense.
We actually seen it happen with Jadeveon Clowney as well, going to Baltimore. It could be hit or miss, man. That edge rusher is so important. TJ Watt. There's those few guys in the league now that are so important to a team, and nobody really realizes that. Nobody grasps the concept of what an edge rusher actually can do to a defense and an offense to help the team. So yeah, I'm cool with that. I love the signing. And I think this year, with him being here again, is going to be very different. It's not going to be like last year. People are going to have to start covering him as well. You're not going to just cover double team, triple team Myles Garrett, because Za'Darius is hungry.
And even if you do, Miles still gets in there somehow, some way. He finds at least to get a pressure. At least that's the insane part.
Right.
I think at the end of last season, the teams we played, luckily we had a good December, but the teams we played were very fortunate that Miles was still in recovery mode from that shoulder injury. And I think that probably affected the entire defensive line. He's still obviously, man, he's so good. He still obviously makes impact every game, even when he can't lift his arm past here. But there's a potential for, even though he's a year older, Za'Darius Smith just having a great year based on Miles being a little healthier and us having some stability at that D line. That wouldn't shock me. And our younger pass rushers have had a little more time to develop. We've got some younger guys that we're still going to be rolling out there. So I think that also, begs you to have a guy like Za'Darius Smith, a pretty stout veteran in that opposite rusher position.
I believe he's 31 years old. I mean, still got a little bit of time left in him.
It's young, but old for a Brown. He's older for this regime. They like younger.
That and a defensive lineman. I mean, that's where things get rough. Defensive back Mike Evans going to the Texans, 2 years, $4.5 million. I was okay with this one. He had a few good plays this year, but not enough to make me like bummed out about the situation of him leaving. I'm okay with it. We could pick up somebody else that could probably do better.
I agree. Nothing else for me. We'll find somebody, a fill-in basically.
Yeah, we talked a little bit. It was something I mentioned earlier on that there was a handful of guys that just aren't going to be impactful for me leaving. There's just a series of guys that are both replaceable and that I'm not connected to. So there's going to be, if you're good enough, you're going to see quite a few of your players walk. That's just the reality.
True.
Boom. That was easy.
Boom. Mike Ford is gone. Mike Ford, he was not great, but
yeah,
I'm surprised that he got picked up pretty quick by Houston too. It wasn't like, I didn't think he would be like, it seemed like Houston desired him too, which is weird to me because I'm like, and when he played, I'm like, why was this dude even, I understand why he's playing because everyone's hurt, but how is this dude even playing? He's just more of a special teamers too.
Maybe it just fit with their like preventative scheme.
I almost thought of immediately, was there somebody from Houston that was somehow connected to the Browns at some point, either front office or like a DB coach? I just couldn't.
Yeah, I couldn't figure that one out.
Sometimes guys get brought in so quick and you catch that connection, like, oh, he was somebody that coached him in 2023, but I don't know.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Non-consequential.
We got the defensive tackle Maurice Hurst. We signed him again for a 1-year deal for $3.2 million. I like the move. That is a name. Whenever a big play happens on TV, you hear that name. I love it. I am completely 100% all for that. Not 1 thumbs up, 2 thumbs up.
When we had our show last week, you tell me who was on my list. My list was very short of all those free agents, but he was like 2 for me. Because I thought what he brings to the run game. I felt like our run game was, I might be wrong on this, but I felt our run game was improved because of him. Well, not because of him. He was one of the pieces to help kind of shore up that inside where people the year before were just running straight down our throats.
Yeah, he's a part of that. He's also a flash player. I agree that he is a player that I don't know that he has the level of consistency. His paycheck sort of dictates what he is, but he is somebody that if there's a big play on the defensive line or immediate inside pressure, he just seemed to be on the screen for a lot of big plays, and I do like that. And I think he's had a rough go getting his NFL career really steadily going, and I'm happy to put a couple bucks down on a player like that and hope for some consistent improvement there. And what do we have 1 year with him too?
One for 3.2 million. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy to give that a roll of the dice.
So as Chad and I were talking yesterday, Angel, we're talking about free agency stuff just on a whim, and he's like, "Yeah, I love Sione Takitaki," and I'm like, "Dude, I'm not kidding you, dude. He's gone."
That would now that you think about now that you said which one he came to mind after I said Taki. I know his like numbers weren't like great, like you just like, but I just felt like he was like a piston in an engine. He contributed. He was there. He was a good special teamer, and he seemed to improve every year. And I was hoping to kind of like solidify that and kind of sign him long term to see how you would grow, but my dreams were crushed.
Shattered.
I kind of thought he would be one of those just like long-term Browns guys who's maybe never a star on the Browns, but just is on the Browns for a long time. That's one of the guys I was talking about earlier. That's like maybe he's not like a phenomenal player, but I agree with you. He did tend to show up. He tend to get better season by season. And then even I thought last year as the season went on, he sort of found his rhythm in that defense. But to me, that was a guy that I sort of, maybe he is a replaceable piece as a linebacker, but that was a guy that I'm connected to a bit. You know, he may not be a star, but he was like a Cleveland Brown for me. So that when we were talking and you're like, oh no, that's a guy you like, he just signed. That was a little bit of a.
He went to New England, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mac Wilson.
It was just weird because we were just talking about Sione Takitaki, Chad and I, and then bam, I've been having the latest news thing on my screen and refreshed it the past 3 days when I'm not at work, and boom, I'm like, dude, I got bad news.
Something like you're like, he just signed 7 minutes ago or something.
It was like 7 minutes ago. Nope.
That's a good. I think that might be a good fit for them too. For him is New England. I think what they're going to do there. I think he might. I don't think he's going to be a superstar, but I think he'll probably make some plays there too.
Oh, New England, weird, right? No, I was about to. My brain almost automatically went to, oh, Bill Belichick will know how to get the best out of him. That's going to be weird.
Right.
Mayo. Yeah, Mayo now.
Yep. So, my brain was just immediately like,
Bill Belichick.
He's a great Belichick player. Yeah. He has like a certain skill set if you get him in for. But
I was going to say that. I promise you, I was going to say the same thing. I stopped. That's why I was like, he's going.
It's weird.
Actually, the Belichick's not there anymore.
But yeah, when it came to, I'll say I'm shocked. One of the two between Walker and Taki, I'm blown away that one of them is not on the roster. When I had these off-season conversations with some of the guys from the Browns backers or a group of my Browns friends, people say, I almost was indifferent. Which one do you want? I'm like, well, the upside on play and leadership and some other things. Walker, the consistency and the improvement, and Taki, and I just would have never put my best down on neither. But
that was what blew my mind as well. I couldn't believe it. I was awestruck. I'm like, wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Barry, make it make sense, please. But
I thought for sure because that he kind of fits their culture too. That's why I was like, interesting. Maybe New England kind of went in a little higher than, because I do think they look at the spreadsheet and like, $1 million more. No, you can go. We'll replace you.
Yeah. Well, here's where Andrew Berry comes in. Signs linebacker Jordan Hicks for the Vikings. 2 years, $8 million. That dude is incredible. He's got a ton of tackles. and that's why I'm impressed by him. You got guys, you don't want to give up yards after catch. He's there. He's always there. He always seems to be where the receiver's at. Always. Running back. He doesn't let him get through him. That's what I like about him. 2 thumbs up for me.
Yeah, I like him too. When you're talking about tackles, I flash back to Joe Woods' defense and almost had a panic attack. But
Yeah, we're gonna prevent that.
Yeah, all those missed tackles that they had that year. I was so stressed.
That prevent defense, nothing but prevent. No man-to-man coverage, always prevent.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I thought that was a good signing too. I thought good veteran come in and take leadership, help out a little bit.
Yeah, that's a necessary quality when you do let someone like Walker go. But of course, like we said with Walker, you got to be able to be available on the field, which Hicks should be. And you had mentioned the number of tackles he had anywhere from like 91 to 150 throughout the last several years. I think when we were talking about it yesterday, I took a minute to go just check PFF scores because I'm kind of a fan of PFF. I don't put all my stock into it, but for these players that positions that are a little tougher to grade, like sometimes like offensive line or linebackers, where you might not see what's happening, or on teams you don't watch regularly, so maybe you don't see what they're doing. Pretty good. He ranked last year as the 22nd linebacker in the league, 4 spots down from our favorite linebacker on the Browns, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Love that guy.
He put up a 75 grade, which I don't know how familiar you guys are with PFF rankings, but that's a very good starting grade for a linebacker. So, there is upside potential with guys like Taki and Walker, who could have a great year this year. But if we had that kind of linebacker play last year of this defense, that's dangerous, especially with kind of the revamped defensive line we've been playing with. So this should be, I agree with you. I think this should be a on the field upgrade, and it also brings that veteran savvy and leadership.
I agree. Before we move on, we have to take a quick break. You guys need to use the bathroom. Just make sure you come back and wash your hands, you filthy animals. That's all I ask. Just wash your hands.
Don't touch your screen without washing your hands.
I will touch my screen all I want. No. Yeah, we got a couple more guys to talk about, and then we'll finish the night off. Again, Chad, thank you for joining us tonight. It's much appreciated. You're a knowledgeable guy. It's fun to have you on and talk to you about the Browns, man. It really is.
Yeah, this has been great.
There's plenty more to come, though. We're about to start harassment.
Harassment. There we go.
No, I'm kidding. We're not going to harass, I promise.
Let's do it.
He said, bring it on.
I moved to California, and it's just like any visit back home with the family.
He's like, yeah, drive 3,000 miles. Start talking. No.
Yeah. I'll be here.
We will be right back. What is up, everybody? Mike Wilkes here from the Bearded Browns podcast, letting you know that we're going to be working with Mistakes on the Lake Clothing. They have everything you need. Why not check them out? If you want to go to their store, it's 4542 Liberty Avenue in beautiful Vermilion, Ohio. If you want to contact them, their phone number is 440-670-3145. They have everything from Cleveland to Columbus gear. They have Lake Erie gear. Why not check it out? It's all great stuff you can get for your wife, your kids, your newborn. They even have onesies, shirts that say good moms and dads don't raise Michigan fans, just Ohio stuff, and it's awesome. So be sure to check them out. They have everything you need. Even the candles, custom coasters, can koozies, wine tumblers, phone grips, everything, stickers. It is awesome. Check them out. Do not be the mistake on a lake and regret this decision. Go and check them out. I did it again. I
Yeah,
did it again.
Forgot to bring him in.
Chad, I did it again. I won't let it happen again. I promise.
What'd you do this time? Are you leaving me
forgot
as a
to-
blank screen?
Yeah, he's.
I did.
See, he's gone now. See, he
This is
did
what I
not-
deserve.
That's
Oh,
what he
he did it on
deserved.
purpose.
He will no longer. He just give me a. I'm thinking about
he slammed them
he quit.
wireless.
He straight up left the show. No, just playing.
No, I'm toughing it out. You can't
Yeah.
boo me out of here.
I do got to say what's up to Paul, Mark, Angel. You're already here. You don't
Yeah.
count.
I like the James. I like to chat in the chat.
Mike Uhas, Paul. Thank you guys for joining us tonight.
I'm getting some advice for how to visit San Diego the right way because I've been on my wife about going there. So,
I mean, if
That-
anybody listening to the podcast is coming that way, just hit up the Beach Browns backers on Instagram, or I'd say Twitter, but I'm just never on it anymore. But yeah, just hit up the Beach Browns backers on Instagram and or Facebook, and I won't steer you wrong. I'll guide you to the right spots.
if Angel and I ever come out there, we are actually going to meet up for a beer in Browns.
dude, that would be 10 o'clock.
Absolutely.
I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm there. Like, sorry, honey, I got business call in San Diego. I got to go by myself.
Watch
And
this.
she see
Here, I'm
pictures of me online.
gonna actually do something. Watch this. This just in. Angel and Mike going to LA to have a beer with Chad.
I'd do a live
That was the breaking news
podcast.
right there.
Live podcast.
The breaking
Oh man,
news.
remote podcast. That would be then.
That would be dope.
There's not much more legit podcasting than on the road, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna try to do something.
Yeah,
this
Southern
summer.
California's ready for you. Come on along.
Angel and I have some stuff planned up for this summer that we're gonna continue to talk about and try to make happen. I told you a little bit about it the other day, Chad. Yesterday, and
Yeah.
we'll see. Let's get back to business though. Somebody we did let go, defensive tackle Jordan Elliott. Yeah, 2-year, $10 million to the 49ers.
I mean,
Good
you
for
always
him.
wonder. I mean, the 49ers picked him up, and they don't make many mistakes on defense.
They just don't win the Super Bowl. That's a huge mistake.
They're but they're seeing something that I haven't seen, because that was a guy that I was just, man, I had high hopes for Jordan Elliott, and I just kept thinking, I don't know, maybe you just got to get the right line around him or the right defensive coordinator. In college, this guy was like an interior pass rusher that could just make such an impact, and it just didn't happen here. Like, it's not like he didn't go momentless last season, but in the last 2 years, there's just no Jordan Elliott memories that pop out to me. It's a shame.
Same. I don't know. I forgot he was even on the team until he signed with San Francisco. I was like, wait, Jordan Elliott was signed? I
Jeez.
think he had a couple plays, but I agree. I thought the expectation did not meet the on-field.
You guys are harsh. I try to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like,
I mean,
really did.
I'm coming from I was just amped up that we drafted, like, what a steal, and it just never came to fruition, and so I'm probably just a little salty that it just didn't happen.
I maybe that's it. I mean, I really tried, and like I said, I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt in hopes that he was gonna come out of whatever shell he was in, and it just clearly did not happen. There could have
he'll
been
probably
better move.
he'll probably go to San Francisco, and they'll probably get the best out of him for some reason, but because they seem to have good defensive people there, but
That's
he
the way
didn't
it
do
works.
much there. Yeah.
And that goes for all the people that are gone. Defensive tackle, we did sign Shelby Harris. I don't know what amount of money yet, but we did re-sign him. That is a shoo-in. I am glad for that. Again, 2 thumbs up. That is one defensive tackle that I was hoping we were going to keep. That's another name you hear on TV every time there's another big play. You just, man, to hear that name again this year is going to be good. He's a big guy on the front line. I love it. No regrets, not even a single
No,
letter.
yeah, I like him.
That was a movie
I'm
quote.
good. They got him. Hopefully, this is, I don't know, maybe a year that he can prove and get another big contract because I kind of like the guy, but we'll see.
Ooh, you seemed.
Yeah, I do like Shelby Harris. I think when you look at somebody like Jordan Elliott, you just can't keep all your free agents. It's not realistic. But when you're
Yeah.
looking at Mo Hurst, Shelby Harris, Jordan Elliott, I feel like you snag the two guys out of that trio that you want to hang on to. Tough to leave Taki and tough to see Walker go, but I think Hicks, at least from the past year or two, that's another upgrade. So you just kind of balance it. Like it's so hard not to like have your heart sort of on a guy that's a Brown, but when you look at who left and who stayed and or came in, I just think we're getting the better players.
Yeah.
And somehow not breaking the bank on it. I'm sure there's some voodoo for Shelby Harris's contract because he can't be that low priced, but I was ecstatic that we even got him in the building last year, and the fact that they could hold on to him. I mean, that says something for what they're putting together on that defense and how the guys feel about playing for these teams. Money talks, but when the money's not these giant significant differences like Wilkinson got, where it's like, oh, somebody might pay him $5 million more a year. When the money, holds a little bit closer, I mean, sometimes it's about, do you have a place that the guys, want to stay and play?
Wilkinson got a nice contract, man. I was hoping for that. Real quick.
Shelby Harris got a 2-year, $9 million deal.
Yeah. Paul Moyer,
That's
we
not
will
huge
get
money.
to that here in a second,
Yeah.
bud. We're trying to get through these real quick, and then we'll start talking about some corners and what we could do to improve that. Offensive tackle Hakeem Adeniji. I cannot pronounce that dude's name.
Yeah.
We signed a
think-
1-year deal with him.
Yeah, he's going to be maybe a floater, some backup just in case. I mean, he was on 2 teams. I don't think, from what I was reading, it wasn't nothing impressive. But again, we don't have Bill Callahan. I was going to say we have a machine here, but he's no longer here. Oh,
Chad rejoined. Which one though?
there's 4. I see 4 on my screen, but there's 3 on YouTube. Or there it is. Okay. I see it.
As long as you're not rolling out, Angel will be all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, where are you going? No.
We'll get him back. I think he just got to reconnect.
Is he? You don't? You probably have to reconnect. He's gone. He's gonna reconnect.
Yeah, he's still here.
I heard him. You probably didn't hear him. I saw him and heard him. Yeah. Well, there goes that one a game thing.
One
So,
all sides.
Dude, we were an hour in before something happens. That's great.
Man,
It's good. It's getting better. You see,
yeah.
we have to stack these days.
1 week at a time.
I don't. We'll talk about Greg Newsome later.
Yeah. The next one I got is Michael Dunn. We re-signed him. I'm cool with that. That's another name you'll hear on big plays.
Consistent. Yeah, consistent.
What do you think about that running back, Naheem Hines? 1 year, $3.5 million. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, he's going to be a special teamer too. I think he's going to help with the returns, so that's good.
Which may take
Grant
Pierre off of the returns.
Strong. Yeah.
Pierre Strong. Yeah, Pierre Strong might come off the returns.
Pierre Strong.
And we might be able to use him more as a running back, I would think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I want to see Pierre Strong. You and I have talked about this numerous times as well. Pierre Strong. Put the guy in the backfield. Let him run. We've seen a couple runs. But when a guy is not running the plays every week, in and out, obviously you assign him to special teams more than you did the running back position. Yes, Paul, keep the O-line depth. We're not going to get rid of that.
Yeah, that's why he lost connection.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm in California.
Yeah.
They turned off my power. I was using too much. No, but
Let's see.
I think I like the depth. That's why I said he was from Cincinnati. I think he played for Minnesota and Cincinnati in the last 2 years. But I think they have a good track record of creating O-line improvement. When they bring on somebody who is inconsistent, they seem to turn them around.
Oh yeah, and my buddy Mike, that's actually watching right now, is the one that thinks if you don't win a Super Bowl, you're a trash team. Essentially, is what he said. Not quote for quote, but thinks you're garbage. That's his exact word.
Horrible. I don't know about that take. I mean, because you can be a good team and another team gets lucky. You know, kind of like what the Ravens Flacco year they won. They weren't like were they the best team? I'm not sure. Like it's been so long ago. But you know, some people get lucky sometimes. And then, Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Brad Johnson as their quarterback. I mean, they weren't the best team in the NFL. They just were lucky that year.
Right. It is very, very hard to keep a good offensive line together like we have with the Browns. And again, my buddy Mike thinks that the Browns' offensive line is not good, and I disagree completely, wholeheartedly, 110%. We've always had one of the best offensive lines.
Yes.
Always.
They're always at least top 10, top 8, top 5. They're always in there.
Yeah. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We are trying to get him back, but I sent him another link, so hopefully he can join again.
Hopefully he can join. I was having fun.
I did the join button is blanked out.
Streamlabs.
Never fails.
Never fails. No, but keep the O-line depth for sure. Mark says depends on the refs. That's true. Whoever the NFL wants to win that year is going to win. That's partially true.
Very.
I want to talk about the corners, but we'll wait on that.
I really do want to talk about corners because that's going to be huge.
Yeah, I agree, Mark. We couldn't stay healthy last year. That was a big issue. I mean, if we would have had half the guys that were on the IR, I think we would have went a little further.
And that's insane because you think of it as now that our defense is one of the top 3 in the league. People want our guys, and with all the guys that were in the defensive free agency this year off the Browns, I really didn't think we were going to take that big of a hit. Like Sione Takitaki. I'm glad we still got Martin Emerson because that guy, you and I both love that dude.
Yeah, that guy's going to be baller.
Yeah.
He might get you in a position where you can be like, well, we can save some money and cut this Ward guy at some point.
And that's a talk. That's a possibility. And did you hear all the other rumors too? So obviously we have Browns pages, you and I, and we go on them, and there's so much crap on there, dude. We're gonna bring Josh Dobbs back. Josh Dobbs just signed and all this.
Just signed a 3-year, $300 million.
Something insane. It's always by some weird name or something off the wall. I think it's funny. I always post fake news.
Yeah, spam accounts, man. They're like, this Browns quarterback is in deep trouble, and it's like a receiver from the Buffalo Bills. Right. It's like at least match it up, man. At least put a picture of the Browns quarterback on it. That's where you know. And sometimes people go comment. They're like, "Oh yeah, Watson sucks." It's like, bro, this is a fake article. Why you comment on it?
And then how the hell do they get shares and we don't? What? You guys just shared fake news.
People are silly. People believe in any news.
Except I believe this news though.
Yes. Because we know what we're talking about.
We try to know what we're talking about.
Oh, man. What a good start.
We can go back into Jameis. Well, you know what? We'll do stats and facts with an angel.
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do some Judy stats. How about that?
All right. I think I remade your, dude, you got to watch this. I didn't even tell you about this. I remade your intro.
It? Nice.
I didn't even show it to you, did I?
No, you didn't.
Oh, you're about to see it.
I'm not sure.
Oh, of course. No sound. Yeah, we're gonna redo that.
Oh, okay.
There was no sound. Now you ready? I
I'm
like
ready.
your facial expression now.
I'm
Ready.
waiting.
All right, here we go. Oh, that's you're good.
All right, Jerry Judy. Here's some stats and some fun facts for you about Jerry Judy. Man, that's a mouthful. Number one, he has played 44 games in Denver. 44 games. He had Now here's his numbers in 44 games. There's some encouraging numbers here. I want to encourage you guys very much so. 211, 356 targets. He has caught 211 of those targets that have been thrown to him for over 3,000 yards. He has 11 touchdowns and his longest reception. And this is encouraging because I believe this is partially why, I don't know if you guys know this, but Barrett has coveted Judy since last year. They were trying to get him into the building, and they finally got him. But part of the reason why is his longest reception ever is 92 yards. Can you imagine just Watson stepping back, pumping, pump fake, but maybe not that long, and throwing 92 yards to Jerry Judy, who just jumps in the air because he's so long and lanky and catches the ball. This guy is going to be amazing. He's going to help take the top off the defense. His best year was in 2022, where he had he played 15 games, 67 catches and 100 targets for 972 yards. He had 6 touchdowns, but his longest reception that year was 67 yards. Still a deep threat. The only thing I'm concerned about, maybe because he played in Denver, and this is the last fact for you, he's only had 5 games at 100 yards where he reached over 100 yards. A little concerning, but hopefully here when they're throwing around the rock a little more, we can see that number go up consistently. That's it. That's all I have for you. Go Browns. Nice. Now it's playing.
With an angel.
Oh, that looks dope. I like
You
that.
like that?
I like the world and the chrome.
Facts and stats
like
with
it.
an angel. I told you I hooked you up. I
Yes.
told you I changed some things on the show, and I didn't want to show you because, I mean, obviously I screwed them up. Well, our program screwed them up.
Yeah.
Not me myself, but
Oh, look who had made it.
oh, he's back. He is back.
Yes.
We
Woo.
have Chad.
Chad is
Let's go back to Chad. What's up,
Live
Mr.
from
Mediator?
San Diego. Oh, you forgot his ear. He forgot to put his earbuds on. Yeah. Jerry Judy's pretty encouraging, man. Like I said, he's gonna 92 yards is his longest reception ever. And I would love to see more of that here.
Absolutely. Can you hear us, Chad?
Can you hear us now? Oh,
Chad?
No, he doesn't. He can't hear us. Oh man, boo! Wait,
hold on. I might be
Blink.
able to fix that.
Blink twice if you can hear us.
Let's see. Try now.
Hi.
No,
Oh, I heard that.
that wasn't me. Chad?
No, we hear his mic, but he doesn't hear us.
He said he's back with no sound.
I'm back with
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Yes, it's just a little delay.
The Browns
It's
should
because
sign you, man.
It took a while to get to California to signal.
You're just
That's
like a
all.
cardiac kid as well.
All
We were
right,
trying
never
not
give
to
up,
move.
never say die.
We were trying not to move too far ahead without you, but we kept some conversation going.
Okay.
I don't know if you missed anything or not, but we were still here while you were you just decided to go MIA, but we're here.
Yeah, I need to take a few minutes for myself.
Yeah.
Did you wash your hands?
No, I feel bad.
To reflect.
Oh man, that was great. There was that Myles Garrett offsides call right there.
It happens once a game, and this is going to happen once a podcast. I promise you. Well,
Now, do I need like a strip fumble to end the podcast in order to sort of redeem myself?
Yes.
You better return it for a touchdown.
Yeah. Or maybe jump the offensive line and get a block a field goal. That would be even better.
I
That
don't
was
really know
sick.
what happened, but I would have felt odd if it had just gone smoothly from start to finish. I don't.
Yeah, it's inevitable. It never fails. We're gonna bring up while you're back, since you decided to rudely interrupt the podcast. Okay.
I was convinced that you had just had enough of me and were like, jump.
Well, no,
Since you
because
rudely invited yourself back from the link that I sent you.
yesterday when I was talking to him, I'm like, yeah, we'll have you on for like a half hour or so, you know. Boom, here we are, an hour and a half later.
An hour
almost.
later.
Thanks for joining us again, Chad. Glad to have you.
Yeah. It's even better to be back this time than the first time.
So now we're gonna get serious. Put your serious face on.
Can't do that.
That was good. That was actually good. I'm not even gonna attempt that.
Yeah.
If you guys could see that, that was Chad trying to be funny, and it worked.
It worked.
So we're gonna go back to the Jameis Winston talk. We're gonna end the show on what everybody thinks with Jameis Winston, Joe Flacco. Angel, go ahead. I know you got a lot on this.
Jameis Winston. Oh, I had numbers. I forgot to pull it up. But yeah, I mean, I think they're the same people. They're the same person. Just one is a vet, older vet, taller, obviously different skin color. But I think they're the same people. I think we're gonna get out of them. Let's just hope we don't see them outside of 1 or 2.
You ain't black.
Yeah, see him maybe 2 games the most. I mean, anything besides that, I'll be a little more worried about Watson. If anything, like we wouldn't have a backup quarterback issue, we would have a Watson issue if there's more than 2 games that we see this backup quarterback we have.
Go ahead, Chad, because I'm gonna go on a rant, dude.
Oh boy.
Okay. For me, it's pretty simple. Maybe there's 3 aspects to this. One is sort of the fan aspect, or sort of like how this just plays to the fans and media. That stinks. Everybody kind of loved Joe Flacco. We had kind of just sort of what felt like a little bit of a miracle run to end the rockiest quarterback year last year with all the change and chaos. And that's got its upside and downside. The downside is, there are fans that became very connected and very attached to Joe Flacco, understandably so, pretty quick. Shocker that any of us would ever love Joe Flacco, but it happened. I agree with you, Angel, though, that on the field, I mean, if you look at Jameis Winston and why he's not a starting quarterback in the league, it's just because he throws interceptions. I mean, he makes some bad decisions on the regular. And I think when his positives are he's got a cannon, he can get the ball down the field. Anytime he's played, he puts up numbers, but he makes big mistakes. And as a backup, I can probably live with that. I'm not historically a huge fan of his, but I do think we're getting a pretty similar player. And I think from the third aspect, you're just looking at like the team and the team chemistry. And I'm sure guys loved playing with Flacco last year, given what they had just gone through at quarterback for the previous several games. But knowing that Deshaun Watson was gone for the season and he wasn't coming back, to have somebody like that step in the door was huge. But I mean, Jameis Winston's probably a pretty decent fit. He's 30 years old. Flacco's about 40. He just is a guy that probably guys in that locker room, they know him. They probably will like him. The media is going to have a field day with him. He's just a crazy quote waiting to happen. On the downside, the big negative, the only area that I can say I don't think he's pretty much the same player on the field, same style, same pluses and minuses, is I felt pretty confident going into the playoffs with Joe Flacco. Because he's done it before, and because if he does get hot, maybe he doesn't get so affected by playoff pressure. But it's pretty easy to argue me on that one, because last year, that game of the playoffs, we couldn't have had a rougher game out of him to end that season. But even seeing that, if you were to say we made it to the second round of the playoffs and Deshaun went down with something, I'd probably feel a little more comfortable with Joe Flacco in than with Jameis. But it just comes down to, if you're depending on your backup, I mean, you're hoping to all hope at that point anyway. It's got to be Deshaun or bust if we're going to make a real impact this year, and that's kind of where I'm at on it.
My biggest thing is one, the reason I wanted to keep Flacco is, to be honest, is Joe Flacco knew the scheme. Obviously now it's going to change because of Ken Dorsey, but he was acclimated with Cleveland. He loved the fan base. I think that, not saying that that's going to win a championship either. You're obviously a backup quarterback, but at the end of the day, the dude knew what was happening. He knew what our goals were. He knew what we wanted to do as Cleveland. I just don't think it was right. Yes, I want a younger guy. I do want a younger guy, but somebody that can come in here and get us to the playoffs at the very end of the season, that came off the couch. What would he have been like this year, coming back with a entire camp ahead of him, not coming off the couch? And I love that saying, coming off the couch, because that's what he wasn't really doing.
We know he wasn't doing anything. No workouts. No
I was just playing the football with my dad in the backyard.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, sure you were.
And it just sucks because he built, Angel, your favorite word. He built it, dude.
Culture.
He built the culture again.
Well, he helped
I don't know.
It. Yeah.
Yeah, he built the culture. He built the class back. He's a humble guy. I like that. I'm not saying that Jameis Winston's not, because obviously he is a number one guy in the locker room. Everybody loves the guy. He's supposedly the greatest teammate. He's had a couple of spectacular years, not many, but I mean, you throw for 5,000 yards
and 30
in a season and 30 interceptions. You're doing something right, but you're also doing something wrong. And I think, honestly, at the end of the day, him and Deshaun Watson, or I'm sorry, they're both the same person. They are. Jameis Winston and Joe Flacco are the same person at the end of the day. These guys take risks more than other quarterbacks do. I like that about both of them, because you never know what's going to happen. You could throw an interception. You could throw another 56-yarder to Amari Cooper and it'd be a touchdown. You don't know, but they're willing to take that risk. Everybody says that Joe Flacco cannot stay out of the pocket. My biggest thing with Joe Flacco is he could stay in the pocket and still make a play happen. And if he needs to scramble a couple yards to the left or the right, he still makes plays happen. Angel, we talked about that smack to the face of the Jet. That was amazing. Just put that dude on his ass and then boom, done, touchdown. He's smart, and I like that about him. I really did. I think that he should have been here. I'm not pissed off about it because it is our second string quarterback. We're not signing a first string quarterback, but we watched five quarterbacks start for the Cleveland Browns this year. And what other team has done that? None.
Nobody.
Leave it to Cleveland Browns to start 5 quarterbacks in 1 year.
And you still made the playoffs. You still made the playoffs.
I saw a stat. I saw a post. It wasn't a stat. I saw a post the other day that it showed all 32 teams and the amount of quarterbacks that a quarterback started first string, second string on, sort of in order. So if your first stringer played the whole time, you're at the top of the list, tied with a couple teams. If your second string guy played a little, you were at the next tier. If they played a lot more, and as they went on, it's pretty eye-opening, because you look at them and you're like, playoff team, 1 quarterback played, playoff team, 1 quarterback played, playoff team, 1 quarterback played. And if you had 1 quarterback playing, chances were on that bottom tier, you were a playoff team, maybe another guy snuck in there. And then there's way up at the top in the last position, the Browns, absolute last tier by having the most rotating quarterback play as the only strange outlier to make the playoffs. It was kind of eye-opening to see what a ridiculously bad quarterback situation we were in as far as inconsistency and the fact that they still made the playoffs. When you kind of see it by the numbers like that, and it's so consistent with how much does your starter play and how likely are you to do well, it's pretty incredible.
And fans still wanted Coach's head. Despite all that drama, despite all switching schemes, and even right before a game at one point where he just had to throw the whole playbook in the air. I mean, he still endured that. He still had a culture of winning and made the playoffs. And people were like, I wouldn't sign him. I'm thinking like, bro, he's playing with a guy that was playing the XFL at one point. He's 5 foot. He's my height, 5'10", 150 pounds, man. And come on, get a dude a break.
Yeah, that was an incredible run by the coaching staff to keep that held together. That could have spiraled out of control, and I don't think anyone watching the NFL would have been shocked.
Yep, and it would have years ago when the culture was horrible.
Way different, yeah.
Yeah, now that we have a front office that has a vision, and the coaching staffs have this division where it's cliche. They say next man up, but it's like players believe that. It's a cliche term, but players are buying into it, which shows that though he's quiet and meek, he's not the rah-rah guy. The players love him.
Well, Angel said
and this defense.
Sorry, go ahead.
This defense talked a few times in the offseason and made the exact point you just made. They believed they were going to do it anyway, and they just kept kind of dodging those questions of like, how are you doing this with a quarterback? And they're like, we're just going to continue to keep playing, and we're going to try to win every game any way we can. And you're right, the culture, it's obviously a changed culture, and these players have bought into it, which is just another reason I'm happy so many of them are back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like, for example, who in the hell thought P.J. Walker was going to beat the San Francisco 49ers in Week 6, undefeated team?
Nobody.
Kevin Stefanski. That's who beat them.
Yeah.
And these people, like you, Angel, you said it a couple weeks ago. Stefanski was handcuffed. You have 26% of your roster out. What do you expect to happen? But the guy still made big things happen.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of like what Chad said. Even with like, why is Pittsburgh consistently winning? Why is Baltimore consistently winning despite different running backs coming in or different talent or not having receivers in Baltimore? Why are they winning? It's culture, the coaches, the system, everything around them is about. It doesn't matter who's hurt, who isn't playing. We're going to go out there and you have confidence to win. And the Browns have that. They haven't had that since '99. Everyone. That just is weird coaches, or I don't know what it was, but finally Haslam got it right for the 100th time, where he just got the right two people together, and they're just cohesiveness is what they call it.
Chad had the face there for a second of a true Browns fan. He was just like wide-eyed, like.
As soon as you start mentioning like the 90s and into the early 2000s, my brain's just like, I can't even believe that it was like we fought to be so bad for so long. You said, I don't know we couldn't hold on to any coach and GM combination for more than 2 years. Like, I don't know how people thought it could go. Like, you hire a new coach the next year, you get him a new GM, and then they somehow think that is going to, merge together. And then it's not like you can never make changes, but a lot of these really good teams bring someone in to fill an open spot like you would do with your roster. Right. The Browns just like, well, let's just dump our offense and start it over every 2 years.
Yeah.
Just like Johnny Manziel said, he said the whole front office was a joke. Like there's no reason that the front office should be as big of a joke as it was when one, you have, I said it, the world in your hands. You have a good roster. You do, and Johnny Manziel didn't help it at all whatsoever. But we had a decent roster at the time, and you still managed to screw that up somehow.
Well, I mean, it's Ray Farmer using a cell phone. It was the issue.
I hate that name. That's like a bad word here.
Yeah,
in Cleveland.
that's Ray Farmer. I mean, the whole when I've been telling you that Club Shay Shay podcast really like made sense. Like it just like opened up like, well, it makes sense. It makes sense why this team was so messed up those 2 years, because they were forcing something to happen that shouldn't have happened.
Did you see that, Chad?
No, I didn't. But
Oh.
I mean, that is exactly what was going on. Like they were working so hard to try to like make something happen that there's just constantly the feeling that they need to make a change, this next move. And it wasn't frustrating that many times because there wasn't any real evidence from the guys in place that they were going to make anything happen. But you're never going to get that if you changing them up every 2 years.
Nope.
It's just not
Sorry,
realistic.
my buddy's in here, Corey.
Yeah,
so what's
he's
up,
Cowboys
guys?
fan.
Let's say go Cowboys. Yeah, you guys had fun in that free agency where you did nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
They signed a long snapper today.
Yeah, good job,
congratulations on your long snapper. At one point, that was a Cleveland Browns best player, was his long snapper.
He actually just texted me too, said go
he
Cowboys.
made the Pro Bowl a couple of times.
Yeah, haven't done nothing.
That's a different era.
Yes.
Block it out.
That's why, like, for me,
Block
it's
it
like fans you guys are being so petty when you start complaining about a backup quarterback. It's like your team is like, I'm worried about like the division. Like, let's win the division. You guys are talking about a backup quarterback that I'm hoping doesn't play. You guys are thinking he will, but I'm sitting there it's like, let's just hope he doesn't play.
You guys have
We'd be best off if we never see Jameis Winston in uniform. That would
Listen, though, isn't that a good valid argument to know that we have a secondary quarterback that we are arguing about?
Exactly.
Yeah. How many team fan bases do that?
We're in a different place. We're in a different place. It's always been such a passionate thing. It's always been like it's something so relevant. But realistically, I would rather take arguing on Twitter or anywhere about which backup quarterback we should have brought in than where we used to be, where we just couldn't figure out anywhere to get a starting quarterback. Like, please give me anyone to start at quarterback.
Looking at mock drafts at the 5th round, maybe this is a steal of a quarterback over here. Just draft every quarterback.
This is the Cowboys in the playoffs when they do make it. If they do, sorry.
Are we playing them in the season this year?
Yes.
Cowboys, or is it a preseason?
No, we got Cowboys in the season.
They're playing here. That's gonna be.
I hope they do.
It's another podcast for you guys, but the schedule this year is
tough.
It's pretty interesting. Yeah, it's not going to be a ride at any month of the season.
Well, we really can't say that yet because free agency isn't over and the draft's not over yet.
Yeah, could be.
Because some weird things have happened over this week.
Well, a team seems tough, and then their quarterback goes down, and then maybe they're the bottom of you just never know. But on paper, it's a pretty good teams. And of course, we didn't finish in 4th, so we don't get to play the other, fourth place squads. Yeah, we don't get to play the 4th place squads. We got to play
Chad, my buddy that's on here, Corey, that's chatting with us right now, is in Arizona, and he's a Cowboys fan. Corey, he wants to place bets. He is in LA. It's better than Arizona. San Diego. Well, yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. He's like, whoa.
San Diego.
Don't put that curse on me.
He said, don't put me in LA.
I've been there. It's a tough place to live. It's got a lot of stuff to do, but it is a tough place to live, man.
All right. I think that about wraps it up for tonight, guys. We've been live for an hour and 35 minutes. I want to thank first and foremost, Chad. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yes.
Angel, you as well. I'm doing that the wrong way. Angel. Yay. Yes, definitely. We'll have you on more. And you can't shave the beard now. You're stuck, dude. We might as well just make you a member of the show.
Like, he'll paint one on every time he comes on.
Corey says he's from Cali. He does not miss it.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not for everybody. That's fair.
Have fun in Arizona where all you have to do is gamble. Boom. Mic drop.
It probably feels great now. It gets hot there.
Oh, yeah.
I can't handle the heat. I can't handle those 100-degree days.
Nor can I.
That's not for me.
That's why I stay in Ohio.
Look at this pale skin.
A little bit of everything.
He's like, I'll burn.
I can't handle that blaring
Paul
sun.
says, good show. just so everybody knows, I would love for you guys to like, share, subscribe. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call that. And then tomorrow, when I get home, I will upload the show to iHeartRadio, Spotify, and our Apple Podcast account as well. So if you're on your way to work and you want to listen to it, and me, Chad, and Angel, you could do that. Just listen. You don't even have to look at our ugly faces. You could just listen.
Listen to our deep voices.
Ooh.
Hey, how about the give a follow to your backers pages? What are they again? Like Instagram?
Yes.
Yeah, I think on Instagram we are the Beach Browns backers, and I think on Twitter, I still call it Twitter, we are, I believe, Beach Browns, at Beach Browns. And then we've also got a Facebook page. Just search up Ocean Beach Browns backers. There's nothing to follow on that one unless you're thinking about coming our way, but that's the easiest way to get a hold of us. And hey, shoot me a line. I'd love to say hi.
I think that one's called O3B, isn't it? Or OB3, something like that. The one on Facebook.
Yeah, I think you can still search it through Ocean Beach Browns backers, but OB3 was our little mini moniker.
We're old. We're still trying to catch up to the game, so just bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get there,
Yeah,
though.
and
We will get there.
We created these, you auto log in, you stop looking at what it's actually called at a certain
Exactly.
point when you don't say it anymore.
Dude, you should have
But
seen.
yeah, you can find us almost anywhere by searching Ocean Beach Browns backers.
Yes, give him a follow, like and share the page, especially if you guys are out from the California area, not the LA area.
LA can follow us too. I know you'll be down there to visit.
I just had to be.
It's prettier in San Diego.
I love you,
Yes.
Hollywood, but traffic, I just can't do the traffic. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, 95 or no? Yeah, is that 95? No, that's
No, that's down south. Ours is we got the 5, just the 5, the 5,
oh, just
the 15, the 5. Always a the. I don't know why. I wish I could tell you. I don't know why.
just that bad.
Mm.
We have 90 and 480. You know that.
Yeah.
And 271.
We talk about them like they're Ohio State. We're like the 5 North. I don't know why when they do it.
Awesome. Well, definitely, Chad, we want to have you back on soon. This was a great time. This is a great show. There's going to be plenty to talk about in the near future as well. I think it'd be cool for you to join us on one of the shows where we go back in the Browns page, maybe the Browns days.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love it. Man, you guys know I love talking Browns. So this was a lot of fun. It was awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me on. I hope we get to do it again sometime sooner than later.
Absolutely, we will do
Definitely.
that. So follow him, follow our page, like, share, subscribe, and we shall see you guys next week. Chad, don't leave yet. We have to have a beard discussion.
Peace out, guys. Go Browns.
Oh, you got to say it the right way,
Oh, yeah,
dude. Come
sorry.
on.
I thought you were going to hurry up and sign off. I just wanted to get
Nope.
in there. Go.